For those of you who don't know, the past two episodes of Boruto the anime, 36 and 37, have been pretty good. And it was surprising because they've been pretty good because what they ended up doing was that they reintroduced Kakashi as a way of addressing some of the main criticisms that the show has faced. Issues like, this is technically a time of peace, so we don't really need a lot of ninja, so even if you fail the exam and don't become ninja, we would be okay. Also, because there has been no war and it's been too peaceful, there's been a lack of struggle that this new generation has had to encounter, and therefore Kakashi thinks that Boruto is a little bit too cocky, and he thinks that his generation are just a bunch of kids that are just palling around. Like, they're not doing much of anything aside from being regular kids that go on field trips and become closer as friends. And yeah, there's some conflict here and there, but it's not as severe as it used to be back when Naruto was growing up. And in their defense, that's not their fault, okay? It's not their fault, it's just the setting. It's a very peaceful time for them to grow up in, okay? And then the final thing that Kakashi says is that Boruto is too much like Naruto. So all these issues are laid out by Kakashi to the point where it's now 100% confirmed that the show is aware of its own flaws, which honestly surprised the crap out of me. I had no idea that they would actually do this within the show. I thought they were just going to keep making these episodes, not acknowledging that these flaws were there, just ignoring them and just, making the type of series that they would want to make. But the fact that they have Kakashi be the one to say these things, these are the issues of the new generation, was a breath of fresh air. It was such a pleasant surprise. And what's funny is that each of the issues that Kakashi brings up, with the exception of one, and I'll talk about what that is in a moment, but most of the issues, most of the criticisms that he brings up in the past two episodes are things that I've talked about previously in Boruto reviews that I made when I was reviewing the first Boruto anime arc, all right? And I'm not saying this to sort of be like, oh, look at me, my criticisms are valid. No. Although, to be fair, there is a little bit of validation here because it's just people just don't like when I talk about these flaws. I've gotten messages saying why do you even make Boruto related videos anymore if you just hate on it? But then on the other hand, I also have people who ask me, wait, it's been a while, it's been a couple of weeks, it's been kind of like a month. Why haven't you uploaded a Naruto or Boruto related video? So it's I can't win. No matter what I do, I can't win. So I guess the moral of the story here is that since you can't please everybody, it's impossible to do so. Just, go with your gut, or at least try and do what you think is right. Anyway, the issue that I hadn't thought about that Kakashi brings up in this episode is that Boruto has a serious lack of resolve. Kakashi's you're very skilled, you're very powerful, for your age, you should technically be considered a genius at your level, but why do you want to be a ninja? What gets you up in the morning, essentially? And I remember back to the first time he met Team 7, and they each told him what it was that their resolve was. Naruto's I want to be Hokage because I want to be acknowledged, and the people that made fun of me back in the day would respect me. That's his resolve. Sasuke, even though is kind of messed up, he's I want revenge. I want to get revenge on a certain someone because I want to reinstitute my clan. Because to me, if Boruto had actually answered the question that Kakashi was asking him, he probably would have said something well, right now, I just hate my dad, and I have this weird eye power thing that I can't figure out right now. And again, he's very skilled in combat, so I'll definitely give him that, okay? Nobody's arguing whether he's skilled or not for his age. That's pretty much a given at this point. But I think what the show is trying to say through Kakashi is that being powerful and skilled does not automatically make you a good character. And so Boruto breaks out of Kakashi's hold with the help of his friends, and then they go and hide in the forest, and he's very sad because he couldn't come up with an answer to Kakashi's question. And by the way, I have a question myself. Is Sakura training academy level students to be able to perform the healing technique that you see in this picture? Because I'm pretty sure I never saw an academy level Sakura being able to perform this technique. She needed to be trained by, I think, Shizune or Tsunade. So, apparently, academy level kids can now perform the healing technique. Anyway, Boruto's wallowing in his own self-pity, and he's I suck. I really do suck. And all his friends, tell him, no, you do not suck. I am different. I'm a different person because of you. So the episode kind of makes it seem as if Boruto's resolve moving forward could be his friends. His friends are his resolve. And so it's through the process of hiding in the forest that the new generation of shinobi learns about the power of encouragement through friendship and unites to defeat the evil Kakashi sensei. Even though, despite the fact that Boruto's entire group ganged up on him, they still technically didn't defeat him. He was still holding back, and also he was right all along. I'm pretty sure he could have used a little bit more juice on that purple lightning attack to electrocute the entire group. And then by the end, like even Iruka Sensei tells him like, "You went too far." And so despite the fact that Boruto's resolve is a little bit stronger by the end of the episode, I still think it's a little bit wobbly, especially because he didn't answer Kakashi's question when he was put on the spot with the arm hold. Like, are you willing to break your arm to get out of the situation? And look, listen, it's not like I expected Boruto to break his arm, to literally break his arm in the episode. That's not the point. And I go back to One Piece, where in which there are examples, very clear examples, that test the character's resolve. And characters like Zoro at one point is willing to cut off his legs to get out of a situation where like his friends are in trouble, right? Luffy is willing to actually rip off his arms to go and rescue Sanji. And it's not like either of them end up losing any limbs after that scene takes place, but that's not the point. The point is the resolve that they're showcasing. It's the intent. And so Boruto couldn't even answer the question. Or maybe his answer was just no, that he just wasn't willing to break his arm to get out of that situation. In which case, okay, then if you're not willing to do that, then what are you willing to do? Just show me something. Come up with a better solution. Come up with an alternative, and I'll give you credit for it. Because his friends like show up to bail him out of the situation, and that's fine. You know, it's fine. It's a kid's show, whatever. But I do hope that in the future he gets placed in a situation that's similar to that. Because those moments when your character is tested, that's when your character really grows. And it's like, okay, oh. And I really liked how the conclusion of the episode was not to have Kakashi say, "Oh my gosh, what have I been thinking all this time? I was totally wrong about you." No, he never says that. He just says, okay, I'll admit that this new generation has potential, which I think is very accurate and fair to say. I mean, they clearly do have potential, and they illustrate that in this episode very well. I mean, they make use of the transformation jutsu, which is something that I thought the original Naruto series ended up neglecting, because they introduced the transformation jutsu and then it was kind of turned into a gag, and then it was later kind of forgotten. Whereas here, everybody uses it to transform into Boruto to give the impression that Boruto is like using Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then Sarada turns into Boruto as well. Boruto turns into Sarada, and you see like, you know, this very cool shot of like Boruto with the Sharingan. So I won't deny that those are pretty good moments. The only issue I think comes afterward, because the conclusion of the episode is that the new gen has potential. But if you just stay with that, if it just stays at, yeah, they have potential, and they don't do anything with that potential, then, and I'm not talking about, you know, just the characters, I'm talking about the anime and the manga. The anime and the manga clearly have potential to be something great. It's just a matter of, you know, are they going to do something with that potential in the future? So, you know, if nothing else, I think this episode succeeded at doing something, at surprising me in addressing the flaws, which is something that I never thought they would do. So by that alone, the anime has earned more respect out of me just by doing that. So 36 and 37, I have to give credit where credit is due. And those were actually pretty solid, very good episodes of the Boruto anime. So go check them out if you haven't. I recommend them. Before I go, there was a poll recently that came out, a popularity poll, character popularity poll for My Hero Academia. And guess who's at number 1? Here's the thing, right? I'm not even caught up with this series. And I knew from jump, that Bakugo is the best character of the show. Now, granted, just because he's the most popular doesn't mean that he's the best. But for me, at least for me, he's the best character of the show. And I read a comment that said that, oh, I'm actually very surprised that Bakugo made number 1, considering the fact that he hasn't been in the manga, you know, recently. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. He's still a good character. Good characters transcend screen time. So not only does Kakashi agree with me in terms of some of the feedback that I've offered the Boruto series, but apparently the My Hero Academia fandom agrees with me as well, to a certain extent. And sometimes it feels really good to be intuitive. And also remember that when I do criticize something, it only comes from a place of deep, deep pain and sorrow. So let me know if you felt like these last 2 episodes sort of changed your outlook and appreciation for the Boruto anime. Did it increase your appreciation or did it decrease it?
and why. Also, if you have any issues that you would like the show to address, or if you would just like the show to sort of like remain the same from here on out. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciated some of the points that I made in the video, do not hesitate to leave a thumbs up. Comment with your thoughts about the stuff that I talked about the Boruto anime, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye. Deep, deep pain and sorrow.